Hey everyone, it's Dustin with TechMD. Today we're going to come at you with a Google Pixel 5. It's not a very common phone here in Utah. It may be common more in your area, but it doesn't come with a frame like most phones like Samsung's, and even some of the older Google Pixels came with frames. It just comes with this, which they're actually quite tricky to install because of the ear speaker that goes through the screen. Yeah, it's kind of a pain. So if you're not really careful, you can cause the OLED to break if you're not installing it correctly. And this video is going to show you exactly what to do and how to do it very detailed wise. I will be making an edited version for our professionals, so just look for a pro video if you don't need to hear me talk. All right, so the step one here is we're going to go ahead and warm up the phone. So I'm gonna bust out my other phone here and I'll show you what I'm using. So I use this heat pad for consistent heat. As you can see, it says BST 928 and it says 120. So 120 degrees Celsius mainly means that it's gonna get nice and warm and easy to separate. It's the temperature I use for pretty much everything except for certain iPads. And it doesn't damage the phone as long as you use it in controlled ways, no more than 5 minutes. Don't just walk away from the phone and forget about it. Literally be there ready to grab the phone, and just make sure it doesn't get too hot. So you do want it hot to the touch where you'd have to wear a glove or something like that. Oh, my nose itches. Anyways, you do want it hot to touch so we can help separate that glue. You're gonna need an iseasmo tool, iPlastix, or iFlex. I do believe I just needed just these two tools here, but I like to use the iPlastix just in case we don't want to damage the metal frame or plastic frame on this one. We'll see here. So nice and hot and touch. It usually takes about 5 minutes to warm up, so just be aware of that. We're gonna test the iPlastix on this phone. I just started using it again. I really do like it. And once you dive in with the iFlex, then you can dive in with the iPlastix. iPlastix, there's less chances of actually damaging the any cables or connectors underneath. As long as you're not too aggressive, you shouldn't do that. So that's one of the reasons why I like using iPlastix. Now, you may be saying, okay, well, you bought the screen and all, and that's expensive. Is there any way to do glass repair? Yeah, do you have $5,000 in equipment? Do you want to attempt to separate this glass? Sure, go for it. This is not the video for you. Definitely not for the amateur. And nobody I know actually does glass separation on Pixel devices. Now, they do them on Samsungs and iPhones, but they're really just not very many left in the United States that actually do that type of work, because it's very labor intensive and it's expensive for the equipment, and yeah, it's just a pain. So we just use the whole screen. For number one reason is we want original, and original contains that Gorilla Glass that makes the phone really strong. Even though these phones break really easy, like all of them do, you still want the original glass, because if you put an aftermarket glass on there, well, it'll break really easy. Now, if you're looking for these parts, I'm gonna leave a link in the description where you can actually purchase the parts. Doing so will help this channel. You'll get a 1-year warranty, and you'll also know for sure that the part's gonna most likely work. A very good chance buying it from us. So I'm just slowly separating some pieces in here and pulling it up here so you guys can see. So this is where this ear speaker is attached. So let's go ahead and deattach this here real quick. And I may use tweezers, we'll find out here. Looks like it's just lift this piece up. Aha, yep. So this phone requires no screws. Typically you want to turn off the phone if you can't, then you'd probably want to wait for the phone to die. And if you still can't, then I would probably recommend tearing down the phone further to disconnect the battery. But if you just wait for your phone to die, which may take a day or two, try to play some music, try to play YouTube if you can, you know, whatever you can to try to make that phone die, do it. And then we're just going to lift up, straight up, and disconnect. But you can also use like a plastic tool or fingernail to pull out as well. So now that we got this removed, we have to literally transfer this one-to-one over here. And it has to be exact. It can't be off. Now, I remember trying to put it right here in the hole already, but it didn't really work out real well because that earpiece needs to be attached to the screen. It's not gonna really work out well without doing that. So let's go ahead and warm this up so this can easily separate, and we will start working on cleaning the frame. So I'm gonna just set that broken screen off over into my heat pad that's at 120 degrees. If you use a heat gun or whatever, that's fine, but it's uncontrolled heat, so things can melt and break, and it's just not as good. And you can also use a hairdryer as well, but once again, I recommend just buying the heat pad. Don't be cheap, and if you ever break your phone in the future or another phone, you'll be able to fix it with that heat pad. So it's just a great little at-home tool to use. Now, if you're like, whoa, this is way too complicated for me, Dustin. All right, well, find a local repair shop that has at least a 4-star rating or higher, or you can call us, email us, which I'll put in the link in the description and scrolling down below on the bottom. Or you can also, just email or call us, and then we can get you set up to mail your phone in. Anyways, so what I'm doing here is scraping off any additional glass or glue, which is really important. Okay, now that you got all the glass and glue separated, we can start moving over the ear speaker over to the new screen. So let's go ahead and remove this off. Carefully, they like to glue it on really tightly. Really irritatingly tightly. Don't put too much pressure on that OLED or you will break it. Let's twist. There we go. I don't know why they put that on there. I guess to protect the screen and shipment. It's the only thing I can conclude. Stupid. Okay, you're gonna need some T7000. That's this glue here. It's gonna make your life extremely easy. If you don't have that, get some. I mean, really, I just don't know how I do these repairs without it. Okay, so we want to transfer everything over, right? So how do we go about doing that? So first of all, I would recommend taking a picture. That way you know exactly what it looks like. Okay, so now we got a nice detailed picture that I can look at and zoom in on and know exactly where those components go. I think the camera piece is going to be the best guiding tool that we got. And it's already pretty sticky, so I don't need to apply more. Make sure you remove the plastic off of the back and don't touch the camera holes at all. Actually, that's how you're supposed to remove the back plastic piece. You remove that and that plastic piece pops right off. Jeez. First repair in the morning. Okay, so now that we got that plastic piece perfectly put on, and I'm looking at my picture off to the right here, now I know that that goes directly under this piece right here. And it wants to fight me. Get a little bit of T7000 out. Put a little bit underneath our little plastic friend here. Let's look at the orientation one more time. Now, this plastic piece is probably unimportant. Actually, I know it is. But what can be important about it is the alignment. Let's not forget these. All right, so now that we got that off and the screen is already cooled down, how nice of it. Let's see if we can remove it anyways. This definitely wants to bend. Let's get our flat tool later. All right, now that we got the camera piece on, or off, let's try to scrape away some of that old glue. Just use our finger here, and it looks like it pulls away. Now the T7000 is a water sealant glue, and it works really good for what you need to do. So I'm going to use T7000 as well on it. Remember, this is like literally the most critical part, because if you install it wrong, you'll break the OLED when installing, or you'll have to reinstall it while you're trying to press down. So, as you can see here in my picture, I have it nice and zoomed in. I know exactly where it goes. This piece is ending right towards here. It's right above it. Maybe wanted a little bit more overhead shot, but for now that works. So this piece here ends right where that begins. And I mean, we're talking like maybe a tweezer length. Yeah, I'd say a tweezer length away. Okay, now I did touch that front camera. So what I need to do here now is take my microfiber rag and clean it up. Now this just moved as I was pressing down. You don't want to press down obviously too hard with tweezers or you'll damage your OLED. I would say that is really close, if not right on. All right, now that we got this carefully on, you want to press that down for about 30 seconds to make sure that glue sticks. That's pretty important, okay? You're gonna take some alcohol and where'd it go? Where's that spray bottle? Oh, that spray bottle is holding my phone. Okay, I just put a little bit of alcohol in there and I'm just cleaning the camera lens there. I don't want any fingerprints by accident there, because that's going to ruin the experience for the customer or yourself when looking through it. Whew, fun one. Okay. These parts being so expensive, you really just want to be super careful. You don't want to have to open this back up. A little bit more. Yeah, these are the sensors right there, by the way. Okay, so you just double check it. Looks good, very comparable. Okay, this may move a little bit, so just be careful when installing it. Now we're gonna set that aside and bring our phone online. This is when you'll probably reassemble it and plug it in if you had to do that. But like I said, just wait for it to die and that's easier. So I'm just moving the actual screen around until I feel it connect, and also take a look at where the connector is. But it's one of those more easier connectors, except for that's recessed, so it's a little bit more difficult. Has its ups and downs. All right, we're gonna go ahead and turn it on. And this is the time you wanna fully test it. You probably wanna fully test it actually before putting the camera on, and before removing the plastic. This is my only one, so I guess it was kind of pointless. Downside is if you do have a defective one and you're ripping off that old screen and the new one doesn't work, oops. Yeah, you're not gonna have a working phone until you have a new one. Password?
7980.
So we got a fully functioning phone here. You just touch everywhere and make sure that everything is functioning. You can also grab a key here and do this as well. So that's all helpful to make sure things are functioning. Okay, guys? Now then you're gonna go ahead and turn it off. Carefully flip it over and then carefully disconnect. Right, now you can leave it connected if you found it really difficult to put that on, and then just run the glue around, but I don't recommend doing that. Looks like I left a little bit of tape on here. This is a really critical point. If you have left any glue or glass laying around, it's a good way to destroy your phone, your new screen. So make sure that there is no broken glass. But for this, it looks like there are a bunch of T3, T4 screws. So in order to pop that out, you can disconnect the battery or even replace the battery. But replacing just the battery without replacing the screen is going to be very challenging, and maybe have that in the future if we come to that point. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and run a nice bead of glue and go as fast as it comes out. That way you have a nice even line. Now, if I didn't mention this before, this is a water sealant glue. your phone is good for water resistance for a year, and it starts losing its resistance after about a year anyways. So this is not the do-all to water resistance. It's actually all the little ports around your phone. Okay, now that we got the bead of glue all around, go ahead and clip this in. Carefully, come on. Okay, do one more check, make sure it turns on. Clip this in. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn it on. This is a really critical point. We're looking for pressure when I set the screen on. So it'll make a discoloring pressure color when putting the screen on if that camera or the ear speaker is in the wrong spot. Right here is where it belongs, and it would make a really discoloring under the white background if I did it wrong. So you can also, if you already turned it on, put it under a white background and check why you're putting it down. So now that it's down, we're going to seal it, and then we're going to call it and check and make sure that the ear speaker is fully functioning. You want to give it a ring?
Yeah.
So I'm just holding this down for about 30 seconds. It's really all it needs to help seal it. And we're waiting for the ring. Say something.
Hello?
Oh yeah.
You can hear me?
Wow, that is crazy how that sounds. It comes right through the glass.
Perfect.
I can't remember what the technology is called, guys, but you can look at other YouTube videos to see why that works. All I know is that it shoots sound through the glass somehow. You would think that would break it, but it doesn't. So the final step here is just clean up and you're good to go. Hey guys, well, I hope you guys liked my detailed video. More of them coming in the future. I literally lost like 8 videos in June because I hit Shift Delete and deleted all my videos, and my backup was long story. Anyways, so I've lost some videos, but we're going to be coming at you fast and furious as fast as I feel up to making these videos for you guys. Help motivate me. Purchase the parts from the link in the description, and I will be very motivated to keep on making these wonderful videos for you guys. I hope you really enjoy it, and more coming. Once again, subscribe and like, and shoot me a comment. If you see something wrong with my technique, let me know so I can improve. I use the whole community all around me to be the best technician. I've been doing this for 18 years and 6 years on YouTube, and I'm going to keep on doing this for the foreseeable future because I really enjoy teaching you guys. Anyways, thanks for watching. Have a good one.
Thank you.